Greetings, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Critical Podcast. My name is Jimmy Good, and I'm your host. And joining us this week is our go-to podcast compadre panelists, Mr. Joe Lever.
Now you gotta ask yourself, did I fire 6 shots or 5?
Jimmy, how you doing, pal?
I'm doing just fine. Joe, I gotta know. Sorry.
That was just me pigeonholing my excitement for
Perfect.
Red Dead.
Oh, cool. Nice. Well, Dirty Harry. Anyway, and Levi Fletcher. Levi, how are you doing this week?
I'm good. I don't know how to follow it up, so.
That's okay. Do you guys ever watch Dirty Harry? Like, one of the guys that he, like, does that to, the guy's like, I gotta know. So he's, like, asking him to pull the trigger on him. It's craziness. Well,
That's
welcome.
what I ask everybody when I'm shooting at them.
You're gonna do it? Like, there's this one shot in Red Dead they keep showing where he comes upon some dude hanging off a cliff, and you're gonna shoot above his head 5 times, and you'll be like, and you're gonna be asking yourself, did I fire only 5 shots or all 6? And the guy's like, please help me, sir. And you'd be like,
Oh, sideways kill shot.
It's a kill shot. Yes, everybody, thank you so much for joining us here. We usually talk about everything in pop culture, from movies to games, to TV show, to music sometimes, to, freaking theme parks when we want to. But we've got some stuff to get into right away. A little bit of news we had last week. Very sad news, everybody. Get ready to play your funeral dirges for Iron Fist, because Iron Fist is gone, canceled, gone forever from Netflix.
Never watched a single episode.
Your both are just like,
throw it in the trash.
Yeah, kind of interesting. I only wanted to bring it up for just a second because this is one of the biggest things in Marvel besides the Inhumans that has met with this same fate. Or maybe Peggy Carter, but Iron Fist I thought was interesting, and a lot of people, attribute the first season to having a super low critic score, or maybe not a lot of people were watching it. I have no idea. Yeah, do either of you care at all? It sounds like you both don't.
I don't know. I mean, was the quality bad, or was it just not compelling enough for people to go, oh, I gotta watch it?
It wasn't a great story. No.
Yeah, its story was really bad. I think they made the main hero really, really unlikable. And he also sounded like a crazy person, because it was very much like how Arrow was, Joe, but instead of like him coming back alive, he's also like, I have a special power because I put my fist inside of a dragon I defeated, and they never show you him like defeating the dragon. You see like the eyes of it in a cave at one point, but you're like, what? And so, I don't know. It was just kind of, the only thing that was good about that was, I think her name was Jessica Henwick. She was great.
Stupid power.
Yeah, it is a dumb power. What I'm hoping, though, is they finally do what I told them to do, is they should just merge him with Luke Cage, call it Heroes for Hire, because they usually pair up in the comics a bunch. Just, I don't know why you have any of these characters, maybe besides Daredevil, because everybody seems to really like him, why any of them have their own separate series anymore. Because it's like, the best thing about them is just putting them all together. Just do Defenders once a year.
It's the only way to make it attractive enough to get the numbers.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, so the question is now, what's going to happen is, are all those characters still going to be in this universe, presumably, or are they just going to be like, yep, they're done? So, yeah, we'll see what happens with the Marvel TV stuff going forward. I just thought that was really interesting. That's a pretty big cancellation. A month after season 2 came out, it was just like they looked at the numbers and Netflix is just like, you know what? It's not tracking well enough, everybody. Just want to bring it up for just a minute. Levi, any final thoughts on Iron Fist before we move on?
Good riddance.
You sound like good old Peter Parker in Spider-Man 3. He's like, good riddance after he beats up the Sandman.
Calm down, man. It's not Aquaman.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, man, that trailer. Anyway, I want to talk about, speaking of trailers, I want to talk about something that I was very excited about seeing last week. So last Friday dropped on us, because that's just how these things go, a new teaser for Aladdin. And I had a friend text me about this, and I was like, what? So it's like a minute and a half, and I gotta be honest, I want to take point here, boys. A lot of restraint on this trailer. I know most teaser trailers are like that, but they really did a good job. They could have really just shown off too much, but I think between only kind of showing Agrabah in the distance and maybe showing a little bit of the Cave of Wonders, using 2 or 3 of the songs just a little bit here and there, I thought was really cool. Levi, Aladdin, man, what do you think about this?
Neat. I don't know. I mean, I'm
Interesting.
really, yeah, interesting. I'm really bummed that they didn't use Will Smith. Like, who's gonna do the genie then?
Dude, you gotta save. Yeah, they are gonna use Will Smith, but they're just saving him, man. They gotta wait.
Oh, I thought you said they said they didn't need him. Were you joking?
Oh,
with
I
me?
joked about that. I told Levi before we started today
Larkle Parkle.
that he told Will Smith that they didn't need him anymore. Like he showed up on set, and they're just like, you know what, Will, we're fine. You can.
That's why I was like, damn.
No, they wouldn't do that.
Gosh darn you little Peter Parker. Okay,
Get it.
so no, I mean, yeah, is Gilbert Gottfried in it?
So that was I don't know. I don't think so.
If he's
But-
not, then I'm gonna riot.
okay, can you talk about what else you think about the trailer besides Gilbert Gottfried's lack thereof?
There's not really much to talk about. I mean, we get to see a couple scenes, and it looks interesting. So
Yeah, how do you feel? It gave me goosebumps. It made me feel emotional, man. It didn't do
I was
that for
never
you.
a huge fan of Aladdin.
Oh
No.
my gosh! Look at
I thought the genie was. I'm just kidding.
Oh.
No, I don't know. I'm not that psyched up for it. I'd have to see more. But the Aladdin was like one of the ones that I was never really a big fan of.
Perfect.
I think
Joe.
Aladdin actually kind of annoyed me, to be honest.
Wait, like the character or the movie?
The character, yeah.
What annoyed you about Aladdin?
I don't know. He's a schmuck.
He's a schmuck. He's a thief that gives his bread to starving children.
I just feel like it's a bummer that like Slumdog Millionaire like came first and then Aladdin copied. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, yeah, move on.
Joe, help me out here. Are you excited about Aladdin at all, or did you like the old Aladdin?
Between Aladdin and Lion King, those are my two favorites growing up as a kid.
Thank you. All right.
God, I hated Jafar though. He freaked me out.
Okay,
If I
let
ever
me-
see a real life person that looks like that, I'm gonna cry.
I think what freaked me out about him a lot was his old man form that you see in the prison. That guy is legit scary. And the same thing can be said for the evil queen in Snow White. I don't like when a villain turns into a creepy old person and is even scarier. Like, did the old man Jafar scare you, or is it just regular Jafar?
I don't even remember Old Man Jafar.
Dude, Old Man Jafar is messed up. Like, seriously, one of the most terrifying Disney things. He's like a creepy, crotchety old man in a prison, and you just see his eyes and his crazy teeth. Oh my God. He is.
That is bad.
He's messed up 8 Ways to Sunday.
So I sent you a link of the new cast for
Yeah.
this show or for this movie, and it's actually, yeah, Will Smith is Genie. Interesting.
Yep. I think, and the thing is too, I really like this is that they're casting, people that are like that have that heritage behind them. They're not just whitewashing it or anything like that, because that's a really stupid thing I think that we've gotten into a lot of times in Hollywood. It's like, well, there aren't any good like actors from like the Middle East or that region. It's like, yeah, there are. There's plenty. Like, look at Gal Gadot. Like, she's from Israel, I think, and it's like clearly a good actor. I don't.
I hate to say it, but you know who could work his way into a movie like this is Jason Momoa. He could play Hakeem.
Oh yeah,
the big-
you think?
the
That's true.
guard.
He could play the super big guard. Yeah, that we don't have. I don't know who Dyla is. Dyla.
I don't
Um,
either.
Oh, Jasmine's
No.
handmaiden and
She's
friend.
no name
Oh.
actress.
Also, we have no Iago. Which, see, do you cast Iago? Would you just cast him as Gilbert Godfrey again?
Mhm.
Like, is that?
Absolutely
I don't know. I don't know if they'll do it.
iconic.
That's true, but Robin Williams is already out, so because obviously he can't reprise that role. Do you just pick someone else then? You have to have someone who's kind of annoying, has that squawk, and I love that you see. I think it's Iago. You see him later in the trailer, but you see his silhouette fly over the sands right in the beginning.
They're gonna make him overly serious, and it's gonna be like, who's the guy that played Edward on Twilight? It's gonna be Robert Pattinson.
As Iago,
Oh, hold on. Who's playing the parrot?
nobody knows.
Nobody
don't know.
knows.
I'm
Yeah.
such a troll. I'm sorry. I'm gonna confuse Joe. with Falcon.
How is that Marwan Kenzari playing Jafar?
How?
Isn't he a little young?
Well, it doesn't. They can age him up, man. They can. Also, it'll make a little more sense because that. Well, I don't know if they'll still do the whole like Jasmine tries to kiss Jafar to get his attention away from Aladdin, because that trick does not work at all. Also, they'll probably change a lot of that finale, I would imagine. It gets weird because Jasmine's like a slave, and yeah,
Oh, yeah, really weird.
it gets weird. Anyway, so Joe, are you excited about this? Because seeing that Lion King and Aladdin are your two favorites back in the day.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. I'm excited about it. Robin Williams not in it. Sad day.
Yeah.
Sad
I wonder
day.
if at any time they had considered doing it shot for shot with all of his parts and just putting him back in with the new genie, and they're just animate around it, like, or just like make the genie look like almost like Robin Williams in a sense sometimes. I don't know. And Will Smith will definitely be a new take,
Yeah, I hope they don't, in the spirit of it being live action, I hope they don't make it too, in the animated movie, it was very almost too not too jolly. It's jolly. It's appropriate for the style of movie it is. With live action, I hope they take it a little more seriously.
I'm sure they will.
Yeah, I was asking a friend about this. Do you think they'll do the pop culture references? Because they have like Jack Nicholson and stuff back, like Robin Williams doing a Jack Nicholson impersonation back in the first Aladdin. Like, do you think they'll still, like, Will Smith will do like that kind of thing?
No, I mean, the genie's allowed to be a little bit more laughable and stuff, but I hope he's not. Yeah, I mean, reference to pop culture and stuff is probably not the best idea.
Yeah.
And I think Will Smith will do well. I just hope they don't, keep it legit. I'm interested more than anything on how they CGI the genie. What's he gonna look like?
Yes, I agree. Genie is actually truly and honestly one of my favorite Disney characters ever, anytime ever. And I just love that performance. And a genie is the hardest one to tackle. So I think you pick a very charismatic character or actor such as Will Smith and finally let him be charismatic. Because honestly, I think of Suicide Squad and I think of After Earth and kind of just tuning down like his ability to be like this kind of lovable person. So finally bringing that back, but going in a pretty different, unique direction with this character as opposed to what Robin Williams did. Because you can't just do a voice actor to be like, be Robin Williams and be Genie. Like they wouldn't. That would just be offensive. People would be like, this isn't right. So
massive backlash.
It'd be massive. My other question, I was gonna say, my buddy brought this up too. Would you guys be okay with an MCU reference? Like if Genie said, he's like, you got the same hair as Captain America, and Aladdin's like, what are you talking about? And he's like, yeah, don't worry about it. Like, do you think they would do anything stupid like that, where they're just like Genie traverses all realms and makes like, because that's kind of his thing, is to kind of like once in a while throw something at you, or he'll be like Pocahontas, like you're like, what you brought up Pocahontas, like what?
Maybe that's okay, but
they gotta do that cross promotion. They'll be like, can you go?
Yeah, what's really interesting is how some of like the character actors in Disney World are probably more likeness than any of the actors they pick for these movies.
Yeah, just because they have to look. It's mostly like a look, and they obviously act, when they talk to you and stuff. But it's mostly just the questions. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just interesting. Like, I think I remember seeing like a Jasmine, or maybe it was online or something. I was like, oh my God, that girl looks just like her.
Yep. And they know their characters, like even if they aren't the best actors in the parks, they know their characters so well because you can ask them anything, or they'll just start talking about like, they'll be like, oh yeah, I was just petting Raja the other day over by the fountain, and she'll just talk about that. And you're just like, you can just.
Oh yeah, there's a tiger.
Yeah, a pet tiger, which that's why Jasmine, for me, especially when I was younger, was always like top of the princess list, because I'm not a cat person, but a pet tiger, I was like, that's pretty cool. Like I was like, it would like protect her like a guard dog. I don't know if you remember this, either of you, but in the beginning of Aladdin, Robin Williams actually voices, I think, the peddler. Like it's a first-person view, and you're walking around like Agrabah, and you like see he's like peddling his wares, and you kind of walk away from him, and then you kind of go back to him, and he's got the magic lamp. Do you think they'll do that scene again? Like I don't know if they would, like with Will Smith as like a peddler who's like trying to get you to buy stuff. I don't know. Probably not, right?
I don't think so.
Yeah. Okay.
It'll be very interesting.
Is the genie gonna look like Will Smith?
Not necessarily, but I'm sure some of the face, I think they'll probably take some of the work they did with like Jungle book and kind of maybe implement some of that, not to the effect that Mowgli is, where it's like Andy Serkis's face is like smashed into Baloo's face, but kind of in the eyes maybe. Like remember how Christopher Walken, like for King Louie, it was like, wow, that's kind of freaky. Like what I'm looking at here, it was really well done. But yeah, that's a good question. Also, Genie transforms all the time, so I'm not sure. Yeah, that'll be something. They'll be like the genie's new look, and everyone's angry or something. It'll be like, yeah, whatever. But yeah, Aladdin, I'm really excited about it. The music sounds really good. I think it looks like obviously the budget's there. We'll be talking about kind of Disney live action a little bit later on with our community feedback, but I wanted to bring it up right now because it's pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool anyway. I know some people are against it, but I'm excited about it. And yeah, guess what? Disney's a business, everybody. I'm sorry, but like it's always a cash grab, and they don't have to make a new IP for it. They already have the plot.
Yeah, you know? I'm not so far against it. I've been really disappointed with Disney live action for a while. So
yeah. Like what?
Oh, Jungle Book was
Jungle Book was decent, but Maleficent was pretty boring.
Beauty and the Beast was good.
Beauty and the Beast was okay.
Oh.
It was decent. It was okay for me. Alice in Wonderland, is that Disney?
Technically, yeah. And it made over $1 billion.
And the Huntsman, I mean,
that's not them.
It's the same thing, though.
No,
you know?
It's not. No, it's not. No, it's not.
You're taking these beloved stories, and I don't know.
No, that's different, and I'm gonna stop you. I'm gonna fight back. I will say the last few pirates haven't performed as well, and I think it's just because people don't care about them. But I still see stuff like that new like Nutcracker in the Four Realms. That's kind of newer. I think that one's gonna make a ton of money. I think a lot of people are gonna see them.
I saw that key, like the key blade that they're using, and I'm like, oh my god! And then it's just like a key.
Kingdom Hearts, yeah, live action Kingdom Hearts. Disney, try it. I guess a quick question for you guys, though, going forward, is they're just going to keep making these, like Mulan's in the works? We talked about that. I know some people are just kind of like, oh, Disney makes something new. And I think I get where that frustration is, but they're also doing Star Wars, which is a bunch of new stuff and a bunch of new Marvel stuff. So it's hard to think that Disney is doing something new in just the classic Disney realm. For you guys, is there one live action like movie that you would love to have a remake of from the classic animation style that they haven't done yet? Is there one where you're like, Little Mermaid? Like, I think it's in the works, but like, you know what I mean? Like, would you want one of those like that?
Yeah, that could be cool. That could be pretty cool. I don't know. I've seen the story. I saw the animated. I haven't gone back to watch the animated. Do I really need to see a live action? Well, with Aladdin, yeah, because it kind of, the nostalgia is too much for me because I liked that one so much when I was a kid. But all the rest of them, I don't know that anything's like, oh my god, I gotta.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. But if it's Lion King or Aladdin,
yeah, Lion King's gonna make. I can't even put a number on that. It's gonna be insane.
Yeah, people are gonna show up for Beyonce, Queen Bee.
Oh yeah, I forgot she's they're not gonna show up just for you. Are you kidding me? Her name pales in comparison to Lion King. Like, it's good that she's part of it. It's like when they put Oprah in Wrinkle of Time. I'm like, that's not an or a box office draw, people. Like, I'm like, ugh. Anyway, Levi, live action Disney film that you want to see made, even though you don't really care about them.
Lilo and Stitch. I would lose my shit.
We already talked about this. They are doing it.
No, give me some concrete info.
Dude, I told you that. I remember, I said they're making. Yeah, so Joe, they are making a live action Lilo and Stitch. We're not sure if it's coming to like the movie theaters or just to the streaming service.
Oh.
Yeah. So
God, I can only imagine how crazy, creepy, and ugly that little monster is.
No, he's gonna be adorable. It's gonna be so cute, dude.
What about like a live action Star Wars: The Clone Wars? Like, I'm just kidding.
Well, they're making like The Mandalorian, right? Or you mean like Attack of the Clones?
Yeah. I'm trying to think of what would be good. An animated movie we want to see live.
I thought of one that would be the hardest one they could possibly do. What?
Dumbo, they did it.
What would be harder than a live action one with humans or animals? Anthropomorphic animals. Remake Robin Hood, the fox who's dressed up and uses a bow and arrow. That would be a hell of a movie to make. And if they pulled it off, I'd be like, you guys can make anything.
It's so weird how many times they try to like redo Robin Hood, but it's just a weird outing every time.
Well, that's because Robin Hood and Tarzan are in the public domain, and every couple of years everybody tries to make them.
Yeah.
So like that new one's coming up with Taron Egerton.
It looks bad. Yeah.
Like it'll be fine, I'm sure, but Yeah.
Jamie Foxx is in there as Little John.
Is he Little John? Oh.
Yeah, but it looks different. Like he's got like weird scarring on the face and like dots. And
I think.
That's odd.
What do you think about like a live action version of Brave? I think that'd be cute.
Yeah, I don't know. There's not enough to it though. The biggest thing in that movie is a bear.
I don't even know what Brave
That's all you need, baby.
No, it wouldn't. It'd be. I think they'll. I was joking with my buddy who I was talking about all this with too, and we were saying that like in 10 years they'll do Frozen. Like it's not the classic, but I mean they'll just make Frozen. They'll be like, we'll just do it, and it'll make more money. Like it'll just be like, and Tangled. I want Tangled. Like one day, I love Tangled as it is right now, and I'm not saying they should make it into live action, but if they like said, Jimmy, you have to pick 2 or 3, I think Tangled would translate really well. But I still love them in their CG form and their original animated form. Like I love Aladdin. Like regardless of how this new one is, I'll probably still always love that one, even though the villain is the biggest idiot in the world. What does being the world's best sorcerer lack when you want to be the genie still? Like what can't you do as the world's greatest sorcerer? And then the first one is to be Sultan. Just go straight to sorcerer, buddy. Like don't be stupid, Jafar. I'm sorry, it bothers me. Anyway, yeah, Aladdin stirs emotion, doesn't it though?
And they're making a Little Mermaid too, right?
I thought they were making Little Mermaid, but there's
I saw a trailer for it, so it's weird.
Didn't see a real trailer for it then?
No, is there not one? Okay.
I don't think so. I think I maybe I could be wrong. Usually I would see that pop up. That's all we have to talk about Aladdin. We'll talk about it more when we get a full trailer about it, and then we can finally judge how great their Iago is. Let's move on here. Let's talk a little bit about something Levi brought up to me. He wanted to talk about The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, coming out October 26th over on Netflix. We are not sponsored. Netflix, if you'd like to sponsor us, that'd be great. Levi, why should any of us care about this show?
I mean, for a Netflix show, it looks pretty dang cool. I mean, the visuals look like they're there, and it looks on the same kind of quality par as Stranger Things. And honestly, it's coming at the perfect time here. October 26th, right before Halloween, and we're getting a darker, deeper story version of Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Were you a
sitcom?
Yeah, I was gonna say, were you a fan of the sitcom? Either of you guys?
Yeah,
I've noticed that the sitcom has not aged well. I honestly tried rewatching it maybe like last year or something like that, and I was like, man, I used to like this a lot when I was younger, but now it's just kind of it's a little awkward. Yeah, a little cringy.
It just dawned on me. What's the name of the black cat?
Salem.
I forgot that he's actually in this trailer, because Salem might be the hardest thing to stomach, is he's like a little puppet back in that show, and he just would kind of be like, remember?
He was their Yoda. Yeah, I loved him as like the little comic relief guy, but I loved the ants. The ants were awesome in the original series.
Oh,
but,
yeah, it was like ants.
I like that they're doing like this like more sisters fighting, bit.
A little hocus pocus.
Yeah.
Was one of them Melissa McCarthy?
No, Melissa Joan Hart. And that's Sabrina. But
not
from
the
original one. No, I'm thinking of the ants in the new show.
Oh, I can see what you're saying. I don't think it was her.
I thought I saw her in one of the
Hilda. Scenes. It could be Hilda, but I didn't see her. It's pretty quick. You think they would show her off if she'd be a good aunt, dude. She'd be a perfect aunt.
Yeah, but I feel like they're going totally away from any comedy in this one.
I think there's still going to be some comic relief, like in, teenage angst fashion. But
yeah, but the second I saw that it was the same people as Riverdale, the CW show, which has been really successful, I was like, yeah, it's going to be a little darker, more serious, and more dramatic. It's going to be drama, guaranteed.
Caroline Rhea is Hilda Spellman, who you're thinking of, is
no, but in the new McCarthy.
One. Oh, in the new one, I'm sorry. Yeah. But I can see why you get the comparisons.
Anyway, before they even showed that it was from the creators of Riverdale. I've never watched Riverdale, but I've seen the trailers and stuff for it. I was like, this looks just like Riverdale. And then it was like, from the creators of Riverdale. Yeah. It's like,
I've seen like a couple episodes of Riverdale or parts of it. Don't know why. I just thought, oh, this looks popular. I'm going to check it out. And not my song and dance, but I mean, I like the vibe. I like the artistic vibe they've got going on in there.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, Joe, is this something that you'd maybe give a shot?
Yeah, I think I would. I mean, I think it's going to be very dramatized, and it might. I mean, I think they're going to want to take themselves really seriously, but it might be a little hokey. But then again, I take that back because they show like some monstery moments that are downright damn. Like
I'm getting like an
perfect for
Addams
Halloween.
Family kind of vibe. I don't know why.
Yeah, it looks like it might get kind of dark and horrific.
Honestly, I think it's going to be kind of like Supernatural.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
if I had to make a guess, like because some of that stuff looks really messed up, which I think is cool because I think obviously Netflix has that kind of that market there, especially if you like Stranger Things. I would imagine that the overlap specifically for this show for newcomers and people who love the old show alike, it'll just be like, oh, perfect, cool, yep, let's go.
Yeah, I might give it a try, honestly. The original Sabrina, it is funny. Like, you know, you get home from school, and if you had nothing to do, you would watch shows like that because they were on from like 5 to 6 or whatever. Yeah. And I was like, it was kind of good, but I can see what you're saying, Levi, how that show today probably would not hold up well. And at our age, it would be very cringeworthy, I'm sure. But I like that they're taking something like that's been done and just freaking putting it in the blender and molding it into something new.
Yeah. Yeah, me too.
It could be cool. The monster coming out of the tree, some of the other stuff they show off. There's a little bit of blood in here. I mean, it could be pretty compelling and gripping.
I think maybe it's just the song, or maybe she's using like an old fashioned camera, but something about it gave me like this little bit of like a 1960s vibe or something. Like maybe how some of them dressed, it felt like it was kind of like a little bit of a throwback show mixed with a little bit of suspense and horror mixed with maybe like a little bit of comedy with just the characters from this old sitcom. And I'm wondering if we're going to start to see that, so that way instead of saying like, hey, we're just going to make a full sequel to, you know, like they've done with Full and Fuller House, we're like taking a thing you loved and transforming it quite a bit into a full realization of something completely new, which I think is really interesting. I think it's cool. Yeah, I'm all about it. I'll give it a shot. But Levi, you said you're so excited. Like, what is it like about this that you were like?
He's so excited. It just gets started.
Well, like I explained before, like this just has kind of like my taste written all over it. I like the dark features of it. I like that they're taking the show in a completely different direction, and I like this kind of, you know, dark comedy and spookiness, and
just admit it, you're excited for the drama. Yeah,
well, of course, absolutely.
He's just in for that hunk Harvey Kinkle.
I do like the casting choices so far, and we'll see how it plays out.
I think it's kind of weird that there's that moment where she's like, I am Sabrina Spellman, and I'm not like, I was like, it seemed like too serious.
Spellman, what a horrible last name.
It works when she's a witch, right?
It worked for the sitcom, but if they're going to take this like seriously and it's going to be very serious, then
dude, it's got
I'm just going to laugh a little every time she says her last name.
It's got a Pretty Little Liars vibe, Joe, because like in the little thing, it's like you say witch like it's a bad thing. I feel like that would be such a Pretty Little Liars thing to be like, yeah, man, like
that's true.
Yeah, like, or Mean Girls vibe. I don't know. I'm interested to see how that world plays out. I'm excited. Cool, man. Sabrina, The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina.
Tear up my man card, but I have watched Pretty Little Liars, a little bit of it. I lost my taste for it pretty quickly, but there were some moments that were kind of fun and compelling, and I started to, but yeah,
it's okay. I also noticed this, by the way, in her name for Sabrina, there's a little pentagram over the eye, which I feel like when you look at the graphic for that, along with it being like red and black, it kind of says, hey, you know what, Sabrina's pretty different than what you remember. It's not like this fun little like in a teen drama or sitcom where she just kind of is like, oh, I like this guy, but I've got magic and all this stuff too. It's just like, nope.
Like, is it cooler that they tie it to the original Sabrina and that it's like the same character and just a different spin on it all? Or should they have just like done this kind of story, just totally different characters, different names, different everything, but still kind of the same parallel, so to speak?
I think the name recognition alone, that's what's going to get people in. Because if you did this by itself, people would be like, oh, this is pretty interesting. But now that it's Sabrina, people are like, oh, okay.
Yeah, right. Sabrina is actually, I mean, you run into that name in daily life, Sabrina. But it is, that name just lends itself well to,
Yeah. Yeah, but Levi, do you agree? Do you think it's good that they're actually using like these names and these characters, or would you rather have it be something completely separate?
Just a
No,
parallel.
I'm okay with it. Just, I mean, this is based off of the comic, so
Oh, really? Okay.
It would be silly not to. Yeah.
There was a comic?
Was the comic after the sitcom?
Chilling? Yeah, before to the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. This is what this is based off of.
The comic came before the sitcom?
Yeah.
And so they made it into like a family-friendly sitcom, and now they're like, no, we're going back to the source material.
Fact checking, I believe. Yeah.
Frasier was the same way, but it's pretty much a dark horror fantasy. But they changed a lot of things in there. They used Frasier, Niles. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina started in October 2014, and there's 8 issues.
Yeah. So, but it came after the sitcom.
Oh, the sitcom. I'm sorry. I thought you meant after this one. Yes. Yes. After the sitcom. Yes.
ABC. They're like, I like this comic, but I think it could be a really good family sitcom. They're like,
and it also kind of ties in with Archie, which is really weird.
So, I wonder if we'll see a crossover
from the creators of Riverdale.
Do you guys think that they'll try to like Netflix will try to buy up Riverdale and they'll just cross it?
Probably.
Yeah.
No, Warner Brothers has their claws in it. It's too late.
That's true. Anyway, yeah, I thought it is interesting. I'm curious. We'll definitely have to check it out.
I think the quality's there. I think if it was kind of cringy and very like CW like.
Yeah.
By the way, off topic, the new Charmed is getting ripped apart.
Oh, well, that's because they shouldn't have done it. They should do Charmed like this. This is how they should have Charmed.
Yeah, Netflix should have picked up Charmed and rebooted it, but CW's.
Are you kidding me? Who even thought it was a good idea the way they did it? I saw a preview for it and I was like, ugh.
Yeah.
Stupid.
I love the original Charmed. Like that has a special place in my heart.
What's bad about the new Charmed?
The casting is horrible. Okay. It's very cringy, very CW. The only thing it has going for it is the visuals are good. Because obviously the CGI wasn't great in the original series. But it's got some bad qualities to it.
Yeah. I remember I've caught episodes of the original Charmed here and there when I was growing up. I mean, I was probably like that show came out when I was like maybe 12, 13. But
me too.
Yeah, I caught shows in and out while I was trying to watch Smallville. But
you make it sound like it was a bad thing that you watched. So I'll be like, hey, I was watching
like Smallville. It's a dirty thing that you gotta hide. Like
no,
come in the room and you're like, don't.
No, the dirty thing I gotta hide is that I actually watched Charmed, before Smallville was on. No, it was kind of entertaining, but as I think about it, I actually caught one because I still used to replay it on TNT in the really early mornings or something. And I caught it on TV one morning, and I was like, "Oh my god, I used to watch this now and again." Well, you want to talk about cringeworthy? There's some weird stuff in there too. Like
there is, I mean, it's definitely a '90s show. So
yeah, it's overpowered.
Yeah. Freeze.
Yeah,
the power of 3. But I really liked the casting of like Piper, Phoebe.
I will say that was all pretty
Melissa Milano. Like all those characters they're great.
Prue left for somebody else. What was Phoebe's original power, and then it changed?
Well, they just developed more powers, but hers was levitation. And then
Prue could knock people back.
Yeah, and Piper was freezing, and she can also freeze and blow things up now. So.
Oh yeah, Piper seems overpowered, man.
I don't remember what Phoebe's turned into, and then Rose came.
She could like see stuff, right?
Rose McGowan.
Visions. Maybe.
Oh yeah, was Phoebe the Vision?
Yeah,
maybe. Yeah.
Premonition. Yeah.
I liked her.
She had the Mind Stone.
Cole, her boyfriend Cole, the demon, who played Dr. Doom. I liked him a lot. I was like, this guy's great because
and he's from Nip Tuck too. He's
Leo,
huge Nip Tuck.
Leo is like this angels kind of Boy Scout, and then Cole kind of show up and he's just out of the fires and he's just we're gonna do some bad stuff. Yeah, good stuff.
Oh yeah. What's his name? Oh, just something Mikkel. I don't think his name, but you're right.
The guy that plays him
in Nip Tuck, he was excellent, and I actually think he's a really good actor.
He's a very good actor. Some people give him crap, but I thought he was a good Dr. Doom.
Yeah, he was.
A lot to work with.
It's a weird name.
You're right. Could somebody fact check this? Also,
I'm looking. Yeah.
Speaking of CW, I forgot.
Oh, Julian McMahon. Christian Troy. Yeah, Julian McMahon.
Anyway,
that was his name in the show.
Yeah, that man is handsome, and he's probably one of the reasons that little awakening for Levi in middle school.
I love it. That's beautiful. I also was going to say something about CW. I forgot to bring this up, or I thought I wasn't going to bring it up, but I want to bring it up for Joe. CW, we got some kind of brief glimpses here about the next big crossover for the Arrowverse stuff, but we do have images now, finally wrapping up their big crossover event, which I think is going to be Elseworlds, showing off a black-suited Superman. Whoa. Superman is there, but he's in the black suit, baby. And that's the only thing DC knows how to do right anymore is that TV show. Like, I just stop doing the movies and just do the TV stuff. Seems to be where they're killing it. We don't have to talk about it long. I just want to bring it up because I know, Joe, you might be interested in seeing a black suit Superman finally.
Cool. The only one I can stand to watch anymore is The Flash, and that's only like 80%.
And Smallville reruns, right, Joe?
Yeah,
I've already rewatched Smallville 3 times. Yeah, but I don't know. The Supergirl is cringy.
I can't believe I'm just like, yeah.
I'm almost surprised it's still going. Okay, that's mean, but
no. Well, that's
just,
the thing.
It's just there's a lot of forced stuff in there that kind of bugs me. It's kind of hokey, and sometimes it tries to get too touchy-feely, and
well, they're gonna hope to try to remedy that, Joe, because I think they put like live-action Superman, like Henry Cavill, like on the back burner. I don't know if there's that sequel still in the works or not, but they're making a Supergirl film now. I think kind of trying to combat Captain Marvel with her and Wonder Woman, doing that. So I don't know. Supergirl, it's interesting. It'll be weird to have two parallel. It's like with the Flash right now, having two parallel at the same time. It's kind of like
and Arrow's not bad either, but
I can't believe that show's still going on. I really can't. I'm like, how many people with a bow and arrow can be your adversary? Like there's always some dude who shows up.
That's true, but I mean, it's been probably their most popular one for.
Oh yeah, well, I think their Iron Man.
Stephen Amell, he was in an interview or podcast with Michael Rosenbaum, and he was talking about how when they renegotiate and they have them up to, what are they on, season 4 or 5?
7.
I was gonna say, isn't it like 7 or 8?
I think it's up there. Yeah.
6.
And I think they just premiered 7.
8. I think they extended his contract, I believe.
Sure. Well, that's because it's I think it's one of their most highest rated and highest viewed shows on the CW.
It's probably the only show still keeping the CW going. So
I'm sure the Flash does pretty well in the.
I think it does. I think the Flash does pretty well.
When they had quite a roster when they had like the Vampire Diaries at its strongest.
And Buffy started on CW. So.
Yeah.
They just go with the motions. But I'll check it out just because I like that. Also, I love Legends of Tomorrow. My guiltiest pleasure, but I'm not even guilty, but I just love that stupid show. It's just weird, which apparently Doctor Who is very much like that show where it's like time hopping and it doesn't make sense. And there's a bunch of crazy monsters and things. And it's like, oh, I kind of already have that, but it's on the CW. But kind of keeping in Joe's wheelhouse here, because Levi, unless you want to weigh in on Black Suit Superman, I don't think you care too much.
No.
Okay, fair enough. I want to talk about something this week that Joe has had the chance to play a little bit. Levi and I have not yet being the word there. But Joe has been playing some Call of Duty Black Ops 4 Blackout, or the Battle Royale mode. I don't know if you like dabbled in the other stuff too, Joe, but I kind of wanted you to just kind of tell our viewers like how you're feeling about it right now, if you're enjoying it or if it's something that you just be like, whatever.
It's addicting. I played one match of Fortnite and I was like, and I never picked it up again. But I got into Black Ops 4. I knew I was going to get it because this is, Treyarch. It's the Black Ops series, which I've enjoyed every single one of them. One especially nostalgic to me. Played it in college a lot. Yeah. Black Ops 2 was also really good. I think this one is it beats Black Ops 3 for me. Black Ops 3 was fine, but it wasn't like God, I never want to stop playing this game. It was nothing like that. So, but Black Ops 4 is ranking up there with their original. I just
oh wow,
why? Because I enjoy. First of all, I like the time that it's set in. Yeah, it's a little futuristic, but it also has like more relatable weaponry. The guns and stuff are all kind of like modern technology. They're not like advanced. Like this is what is gonna come out in 2080, you know. But so I just went straight in. There's no campaign. I hopped in and team deathmatch. They went back to doing the same thing as Black Ops 3, where you have these specialists that you can select and play them, and they have like their ultimate ability or their special that you can pull out when you rank up enough points and stuff. But it's fun. They bring back some of the old maps. They have the jungle map from Black Ops 1. They have firing range, which two of the most popular maps in Black Ops 1. Freaking blast, and I love it. I like some of the specialists have like special abilities or gear that you can lay out and use throughout the match, which is cool. You can heal during matches because you lose like health. You can get shot a couple times, you lose health. You can shoot up with adrenaline or whatever and come back. Really cool. It's a little more crazy, even more so than Black Ops 1 was. Or any of the recent ones. Like I feel like people are so fast. Like you all have Marathon Pro, so you're all just like zooming around the map, and you turn a corner, there's somebody there. So you got to be a little quick on the sticks. Some maps are more fun than others due to like a size thing. So every once in a while you run into a crew that's just so quick on the sticks you almost can't react. Which isn't common, but team deathmatch I had a lot of fun. Kill confirmed. It's all typical what you would expect, but they bring back some classic maps, and the new maps are good as well. A lot of fun.
So are you playing those classic maps in team deathmatch as well, like firing range?
Correct. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. That's what I was telling you, Jimmy. Yeah, the jungle.
I heard that the Battle Royale, like Blackout, just they put in all the Black Ops 1 maps just like on over the entire map.
True.
Just, like,
they're not exact in detail, like some of the buildings are and stuff, but it's not like the entire map is that area. It's kind of a mixed bag, but like Array, you get that main center building that you kind of walk through. That layout is all the same. Cool. The interior is the same. It's very like, wow, I've been here before.
What's is like double jumping and stuff, jetpacks, any of that stuff there?
Nope. None of that double jump, wall running stuff.
Okay.
You're human.
Fair enough. Yeah, so it's back to kind of the standard stuff. That's pretty cool though. I'd be back in that same corner in firing range in that blue building, just watching the door. I'd be like, "Yep, back where I belong." Just waiting.
All right, so all that's good. Team deathmatch, and they have like different modes of it too. You know, you got your basic hardcores. Then there's like I forget what they call it. It's not mayhem, but it's like chaos, I think it's called, where it's like more of a mosh pit style, so there's more people in each match type of thing.
Cool.
But yeah, otherwise everything you expect is there for game modes, domination, capture the flag, all that stuff. The progression, I honestly haven't played a lot of it. I've only played like a couple evenings of it and then part of a day. But the progression hasn't been that fast yet. And mainly because I've been playing a lot of Blackout, which doesn't really rank up your classes or anything.
Yeah, because you can't really get like better. You just look different in that mode. You can't get like better guns to start with.
I still haven't figured out how to unlock other characters. So I'm still on the first, 4 basic ones you can pick. But typical kind of like Fortnite, you can get a lot of different. Excuse me. Do you have burps and water? Anyway,
we'll say you can.
Yeah, some of the looks you can get or the different character variants you can pick up are pretty cool. Like fighter jet pilot, stuff like that. you know. Then you can get a guy in like a top hat and a suit if you play zombies. So if you accomplish certain things in like the zombies, you get certain characters in Blackout and vice versa. So it's kind of neat. I haven't played zombies yet. From what I'm hearing, the zombies are pretty cool, pretty good. But that's next on the list. So to the nitty gritty, Blackout, the new game mode. Obviously, this whole battle royale thing has been like an epidemic in ending marriages and kicking kids out of school and stuff. But I honestly, it's more up my alley than Fortnite is. I know it's the same premise and everything, but I kind of prefer this. Mainly for the aesthetic reasons and the gameplay. I think is more. I like the finite. I just like the controls and everything. It's up my alley. In the style period. You start out in a loading lobby. You just have fists. You can find guns and stuff, but you just punch people and you're in there with a bunch of friends. Boom, then you load up and it's very quick. I was impressed with how quickly these games load. Like you're out of one, you're in another one like 30 seconds. You start out in a bunch of helicopters. You can pull up your map right away. You're looking, okay, Drew, where you want to drop? Drew's who I've been playing it with. And, we'll kind of vote, and that looks good. And we'll try and pick the most inconspicuous area. Like, that's the farthest away. I don't think anybody's going to go there, except for everybody's thinking that. So I'm like, no, we should drop right here. And it's always that game of chance, And so you jump out of the helicopter, you wingsuit to your location, and it shows you a meter on your elevation, and you can control and try and ride out the wind to get as far as you want. And he'll parachute when he reaches the elevation of cutoff. And you can, controllability, great, float into where you got to go. And every nook and cranny and detail of every building, the environment is usable, accessible. It's awesome. It's really cool. You find new weaponry. Attachments are a thing that you find. Gadgetry, mines, grenades, barricades are really cool. In every weapon that you can get in multiplayer, it's spawned somewhere in the map, and essentially what you get is there are the main areas, which are like the old Black Ops 1 maps. So you got like Array, you've got Nuketown, which is a cool one. There's one that's like cargo docks. I don't know if that's from a certain one or not. I can't recall. There's a train station. There's firing ranges in there. The Estates, which is from Black Ops 3. It's not just Black Ops 1 maps. It's actually Black Ops 3 and 2 maps, I think.
Oh, that's cool.
So it is really cool. So, but so all those are the main hubs, right? Like the cities within the large environment. That's where you get your best gear. But it's a risk to go there because you're guaranteed not the only one going there.
Yeah,
I think there's like 60 in the match, right? So Drew and I will try to pick out, okay, we're picking to go here, but if you see people parachuting there, try and assess an area close by or just downwind of them that has some buildings or structures where there would be weapons or gear spawned, right? And sometimes it really works out well. You get some good stuff. And you can sometimes make do with the lower, more mediocre weaponry in adjacent areas. You can hunker down for a while, but you got to keep in mind the circle closes every 2 minutes, right? So you got to keep on the move. And while you're on the move, watch for the people around you because they're doing the same.
Yeah.
Goal is to stay as close to the blue circle that's closing as you can. You don't want to go to the safe zone immediately because it constricts you in a tighter population.
That's true, I suppose. Yeah. How about the perks in this game? I thought you said other perks too that you can get, like for pickups.
Yeah, there are. There's little packs that you find on the ground, like awareness. There's a squad link one, so you can see your squad member at all times through walls and stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
Actually handy Because if you're in a big building and you start hearing footsteps are a big thing. Or if you hear noise, you're like, is that you, Drew? And, you know, if you can see him through walls, you can kind of pinpoint because the sound design is really good. Like I hear steps from the right, you can tell that, which is really cool. There's other perks, consumable. I forget what some of them do. I got to learn a little bit more. But just the freedom of choice, the size of the map, just the variability in every move you make is a blast. And
Cool.
The fact that it kind of gets the heart racing a little bit because you're like, oh man, do we hide here? Do we take a chance to go there? Or how do we want to approach this? Because it's just unending. I mean, you got to kind of think, what's the other player probably doing, you know? And you really do have to be tactful about it. And it's all about teamwork. And thus far, Drew and I have been doing pretty well. I think the best we've ever done was second place. I died in like the 5th place range or something. And then Drew stayed alive. And he was fighting the last guy. And the other guy must have better body armor. And Drew took one and died. But
Did you like watch through Drew's camera?
Yeah, you can spectate. You can even spectate after you both die, like if you want to watch the people who killed you. I did that on the first night, and we had taken 5th, I believe. And I watched the team of 2 that had killed Drew and I. And I'm watching them. And they ended up losing. I thought for sure they were going to win. Like, they easily took people down, and they were in trouble. But they kept healing because having as many first aid packs and med kits as you can get is the best way to be, because you can kill people or be fighting them, then take cover and keep using that, then pop back out and keep shooting, and it keeps your health full so you can take damage. But if they're not doing it, you got the advantage. But yeah, the final moments, I'm like, oh my god, they just took down like 3 other players, 4 other players handily. And I think the one guy went down once. His teammate easily took him out, revived him, and then they were looking for the final guy. The circle was getting tiny, like there was nothing left, and they were on kind of a hillside. There was like a little outhouse and a machine shed down at the bottom of the hill, and it was the weirdest thing ever. I could tell that they're looking at the big garage with like the trucks parked in it, and the garage doors are open. All of a sudden, I see the one teammate. He starts to walk over towards the little outhouse, just a little shack, and it doesn't even have a door on it. All of a sudden, I realize that the final player is sitting inside that outhouse, and he just immediately drops the guy in front of him. And by the time the guy I'm spectating reacts to it, the other guy in the machine or in the little shack, and just boom, right in the head. Done. I was like, wow.
Wow, that's really cool. Did you actually get to watch the kill cam?
Yeah, I did. I got to see it all because the guy was just sitting in that shack, not moving, just like, Jesus. Yep. It was hilarious. The funniest things I've had happen is like I'll open a bathroom door and there's somebody in there.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And next thing you know, I'm like whipping a nade in there and he's throwing them back out and it turns into a little scuffle.
Can you throw grenades, like grab a grenade and throw it out? Like if you threw one at me, I could.
I don't know that I've seen that yet.
Okay.
But
how about vehicles?
I don't think so.
Vehicles.
There are trucks and 4-wheelers. There are helicopters. I think that's it.
Okay.
You have Recon RC cars, and you have RCXDs, like the original Black Ops 1.
Oh, cool. Nice.
Which are kind of cool. But
so, like you said yourself, you haven't really played, like, and it sounds like this is pretty standard battle royale. Like, if you get caught outside the circle, you take damage over time, and you got to get in the circle.
You can get caught out for quite a bit and just run in it and try and get to the safe zone. And as long as you can heal up, or you can heal while you're out there to stay alive. Drew and I have gotten caught in it a few times just due to not paying attention, you know. But
and you could play. It sounds like you play solos, duos. You can play groups of 4. Is that what it is? Quads and stuff like that. Yeah. Okay. So you haven't played a lot of zombies, but right now, if you had to like personally either recommend this game, you know, yay or nay, not necessarily. You could give it a score out of 10 if you wanted to. This kind of acts as our like critical reviews, like Blackout or Black Ops 4 review in a sense, but. Like, how do you feel about this game overall without the campaign?
I've always liked the Black Ops campaigns or the Call of Duty campaigns in general.
Yeah.
just due to the, Call of Duty's always had great controls for first-person shooters. Twitchy, smooth, everything I want in a first-person shooter. The only thing better than it is probably Titanfall.
Yeah.
And they're pretty much on par. The story, sometimes the stories weren't always the most compelling, but I just like the flow of like, you don't have to, you think a little bit, but it's not like you're playing against multiplayer where it's just quick, die, come back, kill a few, die. This is more, I like that whole strategically just taking out a big squad of people, and it's fun. You feel like a god, but so I always like the campaigns, but I don't totally miss it here. As long as you got a friend or two to play with and you enjoy, I just love that variability. You and a friend, it adds intensity to it. It's addicting. It really is. I understand why Fortnite is such a big thing. It's just not as much my style. And the whole building of barricades and stuff like that, it gets a little wackadoo. Yeah. This is very like grounded, straightforward, and just fun. And then the environments themselves, like this Blackout environment, is just a blast. And I just love that whole, the second you jump from the helicopter and you're wingsuiting to your spot, you're just like, okay, and you're free looking around as you're still wingsuiting, and you're like, Drew, you see anybody on your right? I got one guy on my left going to that shed. And you have the radar thing, the little dial that says southwest, southwest, north, all that. And then it's numbered, so you can really precisely pinpoint, okay, we're heading at 240 clicks southwest or something like that. Or I got a guy at exactly 210, you can easily dial to that spot and you both know. I just love that. I don't know. It is just so intense. You land and it's just, I don't want to say it's a mad scramble. You can be very methodical about it, and we have been. It's just, man, oh, hey, backpack on me. You need a backpack to carry more things. Or, hey, I got a weapon over here. Or, hey, you need this type of ammo, right? On me. That sort of stuff. It's great. It's great. And you can strategically say, that looks like a perfect spot. Let's back up into that corner, put our barricade up, and wait.
Yeah.
All right, was that long enough? Should we call her there?
Well, I was gonna say, so is that a recommendation though?
That's a recommendation, okay. And overall, yeah. Sorry, I really have thoroughly enjoyed it. And,
have you ever tried PUBG?
I haven't, but I've heard bad things. It looks kind of.
He wouldn't like. You might like it more than Fortnite just because of this.
Yeah,
the look is a little better, yeah. But I've heard, besides the fact that it's glitchy as all get out, it's just you're where you need to be, Joe. Like the minute-to-minute gameplay, I think a Blackout is way more. Your style.
I'm just wondering what the big difference is between Blackout and PUBG, but I'll find out.
Well, this is a lot prettier. Did I mention that there are zombies in Blackout?
No, you didn't. But
as you're playing, one time we were both moving to a spot. The circle is closing. All of a sudden, we're going for a 4-wheeler, and we hear the zombie sound. They play the old Black Ops zombie sound, the that weird like melody, and all of a sudden we're like, is that a guy? Why isn't he looking at us? Then he starts to look at us, and it's just a zombie running at us. And they're hard to kill. Actually, that's
terrifying.
Yeah, that's
it's really weird. And then there's
I want to check out this game now, Joe.
It's a lot of fun. It really is.
I haven't played Modern Warfare since Modern Warfare 2. So
or Call of Duty at all. Yeah.
For Call of Duty, bucks, you get $60 worth of fun out of it the second you're. I mean, if you two were to join in with Drew and I, we would have an absolute blast. I mean, it's
he's selling me on it, Jimmy.
I know.
It is worth it. So there's a place called the Asylum, which Drew and I, we parachuted to a spot where we couldn't get out of. And I did get out of it, but we were like trapped in this like spot on a roof, and there were other people running around in the asylum getting gear and stuff. And Drew and I are trapped, and we're laying there hoping they don't see us because we don't have any guns, but they do. And I'm like, Drew, we got to try jumping out over the peak of the roof over here. And he gets up, he's trying to jump. I walk up behind him and I jump up onto his shoulders and up out of the roof, and he was still trapped. But anyway, that was a fun little ditty. But
wait, did he die in that roof? Like what?
No, eventually the people had moved on because they heard me walking around the building, and because I had gone in the front door and I was creeping around. They came back in there looking for me. Drew went out through the middle of the courtyard and made his way out. But
oh, nice.
So that place where we were, though, it's called the Asylum. It's really cool, and there's actually a cemetery outside of it. And inside the asylum, zombies come out of the walls, kind of like the first Black Ops. And then in the cemetery as well, they come out of the graves. And if you kill them, sometimes you get alien weapons like the ray gun.
Oh, really?
Like that? Yeah, it's really cool. You can
you don't have your knives and stuff right away, so you have to like punch them or shoot them to death if you find a gun, right?
Yeah. So you start out fists only, and
have you gotten a melee kill?
Dude, I was leading right into it.
Oh, sorry.
I tried so hard. I was in this office building, and I thought we could find some good stuff, and there was, but I got in there and I realized, okay, that door's open and I see a broken window. There's somebody in here. So immediately I'm like, I don't have a weapon yet. So I went into a cubicle because the big center of the room was all cubicles. I went and laid down under a desk and I'm just laying there prone, and I can hear the footsteps and I can hear him opening doors. And I knew it wasn't Drew because he was in a building over. All of a sudden I see him coming through. He goes into an office across the hall from me, comes back out, walks down the hall, and I'm like freaking out. Like he walked right by me. He didn't see me. So I get up, I look, and he had gone in another room, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to bide my time. He's going to leave once he's looted the place. So I laid back down, and then I heard him shut the door, and I thought he had left, but I had laid back down in an orientation where I couldn't see where he went. Turned out he had gone in the office right across the hall from my cubicle. So I got up, and I was like, okay, that door, I could go through there. I'm pretty sure he's not in there. I'll just go hide in that room, and there might be a gun in there. Bolted across the hall, and there he is sitting there. I'm like, ah! So I'm just like, wham, 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 trying to pummel him. I hit him like 6 times, and he didn't die.
Did he shoot you or did he punch you?
He shot the hell out of me.
Oh, okay, sorry.
But what he had is he had body armor already. He
sure, that's what I was thinking.
So melee kills with punching isn't going to do the job.
The incentive for all this too is that you get more experience and stuff if you actually make it to like the top 10 and things like that, correct?
Yeah, you get rewarded. I think in the main reward, I'm pretty sure that characters are your main reward. Like you've unlocked this new one. And I think kills are what are going to get you, besides placing in like top 5, which it's not too hard. It's not too hard to place top 5 if you're smart. Drew and I do it fairly often. A lot of times it's more like 15th, something like that. But out of 30 teams, that's okay. Top 50%. But yeah, I think if you get first place, I'm sure you get a lot of credit to bump up levels and that sort of thing. I think, and I don't know everything yet. I've been so enthralled with playing the game that I haven't like learned how everything works. But yeah, and then I think characters are your other reward. But I think kills, if you're not getting first place, I think kills are what really help rank you up.
Cool. And it sounds like this mode too allows for a little bit more time to think, whereas most, like you said, with the team deathmatch, it's kind of like you kill, die, respawn, kill, die, respawn, kind of thing, where this is more of like, hey, you can land, kind of look around for a minute and be like, okay. Like, you find a gun and you're like, okay.
It's not too fast paced to where you're just like exasperated the whole time at all. The circle closing in on you controls the time limit.
Yeah.
Like it's going to end eventually, whether you want to engage with somebody or not. So that's good. So you're not like, you're not in a match for a half an hour. You're more like 10-minute deals, 15-minute deals at most. I forget, but I don't need to do math right now.
That's okay. You don't need to. But you're recommending this game even without.
I really am. And if I had to score it, I'd probably give it, and not just for that game mode. I don't think it's the maps don't always work the greatest in team deathmatch. I haven't played all of them yet, But some of them feel like they're a little bit too small maybe, or there's not enough to them to mix it up enough. Like it's too much run around the corner. There's a guy there already. So some of them aren't exactly top notch. I like the older maps a lot. The jungle is great for the way the game functions. Otherwise, that it's not like a huge step forward. It's good, but it's not like it's like, oh my god, this is insane. The Blackout really steps it above, but as far as Call of Duty goes, I would have skipped Black Ops 3. I would have skipped Call of Duty World War II if it meant I could get this game. Like, this game has outdone both of those hands down. And the Blackout mode is kind of your cherry on top, where that's what you'll spend most of your time doing. And it really is addicting. And in all honesty, I think duos and Blackout, it's fun. It's not too overwhelming just having two people. But I think like a team of 4 would be almost like, I don't know how you'd say it, just like great.
I don't know how you'd say it. Like,
so, Joe, for someone who hasn't played since Modern Warfare 2, how hard is it to get back into this new world of, Call of Duty?
It's not. This one is probably closer in controls to Modern Warfare 2. For some reason, I get that vibe from it. Maybe it's because the weaponry is from that game. Like, I think. Let me think for a second. Yeah, Modern Warfare 2, I believe, was the only one that had the SG-12 shotgun. The one where it's just like just constant wrapping them off, which, by the way, is in this game, and it is amazing. Like blow a hole through a brick wall. But yeah, how hard would it to get into? How hard would it be to get into it? Not very at all. I mean, Call of Duty has pretty much kept that form since then. It really has. But yeah, I mean, you can pick it up pretty easily. It might be a hair more complex in that you have like the special class abilities.
And that's only in the team deathmatch, right?
Yeah, but you can also pick up perks throughout the Blackout thing. Like you can get I guess you guys haven't played it, but they're like a slingshot with little sticky mines, and you link them together. If somebody trips them, it like bursts them and kills them.
Oh, cool.
Pretty cool. There are other things like tracking darts you can pick up and stuff like that. You can get razor wire to set across doorways, and people get caught in it and die.
What's a tracking dart do?
So like, I'll use it in Blackout to like shoot it in an area where I want to go. Like if it's like a area with a lot of infrastructure or buildings, like say I want to go into the firing range area because I know there's good gear there. If I shoot that dart in that area, it pings anybody that's in the area. I'll see the red dot on the map. And right then I know, okay, we've got 2 bogeys to deal with. Do we want to move in and risk it, or do we want to lay low and go outskirt it?
Oh, because you see like a shiny gun in there and you're like...
Yeah. I mean, I know areas like that have shiny guns.
Yeah, okay. Cool.
But,
cool.
Yeah.
Well, Joe, thank you for giving us that in-depth look at, Call of Duty Black Ops 4. Because, I mean, seriously, I'm interested in it for sure. I loved the first one, and this mode does look cool to me. I've been kind of burned out on the whole Battle Royale thing, but it seems like you and Drew are having a really good time with it, which I'm happy to see.
Well, riddle me this. I mean, Levi, I know you've been playing a little bit of Fortnite, right?
I lost interest. Yeah, I probably played maybe 2 weeks of it, and I lost interest. Yeah.
And you were playing mainly just single.
Yeah. Yep. And it was pretty fun. It wasn't too bad, but after it kind of took off and all the kids were freaking out about it, I was like, no, I'm not about it. Not to sound like a hipster. I just didn't want to. It wasn't my thing.
Yeah, I honestly don't think this one will outdo Fortnite in popularity. Like, I think it's good enough I think it's going to attract some of the people, like in my camp,
Yeah.
Okay.
that prefer that realism, I guess. So, Jimmy, you haven't played any Battle Royales, have you?
I played a little tiny bit of PUBG and I played a little bit of Fortnite, only a little bit because I usually get turned off to it quickly because for me, I just don't like really. We've gotten close a few times of getting like a win, but like, what does it do? You know, like I just like at least in this game, you're progressing. There might be more to it, and I think they have progression systems in those games as well now. But it was more about like hanging out with your buddies, and I never felt like the controls were super good, which I think this one obviously has that on all of its competition. It's like tight controls, and I've heard that the fun thing about this one is that it just feels good to play it. Because those other ones, you're kind of running around, and then when you finally get in a firefight, it's not like, oh, I lost, but it felt fun to do. It was like, no, I lost, and I don't like how this gun handles, Yeah,
so. And you also got to keep in mind that the quality is there, not only in the controls, but the environment itself. It's really cool. It's like, man, I really need a scope. I want to be able to see that point over there and make sure there's nobody coming. I mean, it is cool. It is really cool. Oh, and did I mention that there's care package drops that have a bunch of loot in them?
That's a battle royale thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Draw everybody to it because it's
and there are little not Easter eggs, but little discoverable things. Like every now and again, you'll be in a match and there'll be a crate that's hidden. For instance, it is it's oftenly there, but not all the time. There's a crate of loot off the bow or stern of the cargo ship at the cargo docks. We found it one time, but the circle closed on Drew and he died because he was trying to get a sniper rifle.
Drew, he loves his single shots. He's a very good rifleman.
And just so you know, it is always smart to have something for clearing a building, and then it is very smart to have something with long range ability.
Yeah, you want both because you can have two main weapons, right?
Yeah, cool. Exactly. So having a sniper rifle is almost a must, and it's the first thing I search for.
I'll have to look at it some more. I'm not saying definitely no. It's just that there's so many games right now. It's hard.
There are, but I just honestly don't think you guys would regret it. I just really. It would make it all that much worthwhile for me to have a team of 4 in there just like jazzing it up. I think we would have a good time and have some laughs out of it too. But
I'd be such a monster. I'd be like, son of a guys, we're so close. You'd be like, Jerry, calm down. I'd be like, no.
Dude, we got second. That's pretty good.
It's not good enough. We're gonna find these people. Where do they live?
And to me, it's not even about like a win would be amazing, but I'm not like outraged when I don't get it. I'm more like, man, when we took out that group back at firing range, like I could not believe we made it through that. Like the way that guy was, I mean, stuff like that. It's fun. Or like when we found the guy squatting on the toilet at the estates,
I think insane. It would be fun because you like down people in this game. It would be so much fun to finish up a group of 4 and have the last guy crawl and we all just walk up and just like execute them together. We're all just
No, you pull out the fist for that.
Gang beating.
And you can do that.
Dude, and they have the throwable axe, right? So could you like can you use that as a melee weapon? Could you just be like
I mean, technically.
Yeah, that's what I'd be going for. Maybe I'll look into it, man. If this would make you happy. I know we have to wait still another month for Red Dead. So
oh yeah, for multiplayer Red Dead, yeah. Which, I mean, and that's fine. I'm sure we'll get sucked into that quite a bit. But this is something that's kind of like you want to play a couple quick matches, kind of a thing.
Sure. Yeah,
and it's entertaining. It really is. So
cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, again, thanks, man. If anybody like here who's listening to this has thoughts on Blackout or has more specific questions, please leave them in the comments because we want to hear them. And I'm sure Joe would be happy to answer anything else that you guys would have like a question on, be like more specific and stuff.
Or maybe people can answer questions for me and give me tips.
Yeah, give us some tips. Tell us how to play zombies before Joe gets into zombies a bit. You just be like, do this and do this, and you'd be like, all right.
Or if you're listening and you have played it or are playing it, give Jimmy Levi your opinion.
Yeah, we want your tweet.
Push him.
Yeah.
Tweet at us.
Tweet at us. Tweet it, please. I love the tweets. All right. Well, gentlemen, that's going to do it for our Call of Duty talk. But now it's time to move into that segment of the show. I like to call. Levi likes to call. Joe likes to call. We all like to call.
We always do this. Like, okay, it reminds me of The Office.
We're like the volleyball team that just lets the ball hit, and just like.
I thought you were gonna hit it. No, you were gonna hit it.
You said you were gonna call it.
This part honestly reminds me of The Office, where they're all like doing the what am I trying to say? The standoff with the fake guns.
Oh yeah,
and Pam's there, and they're like, "I ain't going down for this." Mama Juju's got a boo boo. I love that episode. Anyway, but it's Timekillers.
Whoa, you both did it! Yeah. The time of the show that we like to talk about all the games and movies and TV shows we've been consuming. Oh my gosh, I put way too many zeros on that timestamp. Anyway, Levi, what you been killing your time with, pal?
Okay. Currently, we are streaming Final Fantasy 15, Mario Party, playing some. I can't talk about it yet. Secret project, but playing a certain DS game, and still playing Pokemon Go. Gen 4 is out. Jimmy's super excited.
Super excited. Love it so much. Gen 4 is my favorite gen. I love that one starter.
And Piplup? Turtwig? Anyway.
Garbage? Trash? I was kidding. I like it, Piplup.
I'm sorry. Like, yeah, that's about it for me.
Cool. Joe, how about you, man? What have you been killing time with besides Black Ops?
I was just going to say we talked about it for an hour.
Okay. All right. Then I get to talk about something. I'm still trying to watch some Dragon Ball Z here and there, but they just released the true season 2, basically, of 7 Deadly Sins over on Netflix. I gotta say, I'm enjoying it. Now, I just wrapped on My Hero Academia season 3, and the animation on that one is like nearly flawless. And this one doesn't look as good at that. It's a bit different, but I would really recommend you check it out. It's like kind of that pure, anime, as far as like you have just like the new big bad of the season and these kind of cool, good looking fight scenes, a lot of interesting, fun characters, and a cool world to be in, a medieval kind of fantasy realm that I really enjoy and really get invested in. So yeah, I would definitely check it out. And if you haven't heard of this show before, 7 Deadly Sins is about this group of knights known as the 7 Deadly Sins. They all have one sin that they're kind of named after. They're all basically super powered individuals. If you're a knight in this world, you have like, the potential to be much stronger and faster, and you can have magic and stuff. And they're going up against a new evil, this resurrected race of demons, and the leaders, the lieutenants of this race, handpicked by the Demon King himself, are the 10 Commandments. And it's kind of weird to have all these weird names to be going against each other. But yeah, it's really fun. It's a really good show, and it's easy to watch a lot of episodes right in a row. But yeah, mostly that. I've also been playing a little bit of Dragon Quest XI, which we streamed to hilarious effect because there was this really crazy storyline that we had to cover that got really dark really quickly. And then I've been playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I'm trying to get both those done for review. That's why, like, Joe, if I didn't have those games, I'd be like, yes, I'll hop in Black Ops with you because I've got nothing else to do. But I feel like those are my other, like, part-time jobs. I'm just like, I just got to beat them.
Come on, Jimmy. Blackout would be a blast to stream for the community.
I know, but if I do that, then I'll never, ever finish these other games. Then Red Dead's
gonna come out. Who else would be in these streams? Levi, Joe, Drew. It would be the whole crew.
So you just referred to yourself as like a third person. It's like Venom style up in your face.
If only, am I right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was thinking about that, Joe. I was thinking about a good question for like one time, like, going forward as far as like community feedback. Like, I would think if it wasn't Venom, Joe, you'd pick like if I allowed you to have any superpower, but to take away any weakness, you'd be like, oh, I'll be Superman. I won't have kryptonite. And I was thinking I'd be Green Goblin, but I wouldn't be nuts. So I'd just be like Norman Osborn. I'd be rich, and I'd have all this tech, and I'd be like, but I'm not a madman. Like,
Venom for sure.
Venom, yeah.
Venom.
So
Venom.
I think that's pretty much everything I've been killing time with. But let's move into my personal favorite segment of the show, community feedback and questions. Now, I asked
questions.
Yeah, perfect.
Jimmy's like, come on, guys, I get it. God,
I love you guys. I'd never change. So I asked our lovely Legionnaires, kind of referring to Aladdin here, but I said, I wanted their thoughts on Disney's live action remakes, for, against, or perhaps which one would you like to see next? And we have some varied responses here, which I really appreciate. So one comes in from Anna, Little Red Writer, over on Twitter. She says, I can see the interest and appeal for them, but I'm not for it. There was something more whimsical and more engaging in the original 2D animations. I do look forward to the Mulan, though. Depends on the movie, which she says she wouldn't mind more live-action war movies, which I kind of asked about that, but I think she just meant like Disney doing live-action kind of war style things. Our buddy Ryan says, I am for them. They tend to be more than a shot-for-shot recreation, and they give more story. Plus, the cast they bring together have been awesome, which I think for me, when I thought of that, I was like, Jungle Book had a really good cast, except for Ka. I'm still not excited. And then Jay, she wrote in, a friend of the show. Jay, I miss our time in Disneyland together. Said ambivalent. Ooh, that's a good word. She said, they're beautifully shot, but feel kind of lifeless and hollow in comparison to the originals. I could go for an Atlantis or Treasure Planet remake, but it remains to be seen if either would be an improvement on the animated version. I think those were two interesting picks for doing live action, because Treasure Planet and Atlantis, what she's referring to there, why can't I think of the full name of that film? You know what I'm talking about, guys? Remember, was it The Lost City of Atlantis? You guys ever see that one?
You mean I think it's just Atlantis, is it? Or it's like Lost City of Atlantis or something.
Yeah, those would be kind of cool to see live actions of as well.
I liked that movie. Yeah.
Yeah, I also think it was that was interesting. Oh, we have a last write in here from Optional Extra. It says, I'm excited to see what they do with the live action Aladdin and the Lion King, but they do lack a bit of that Disney magic. Lucky both versions can exist. I'd love to see The Sword and the Stone get the remake treatment because it's both underrated and gets forgotten. Well, look at that. Optional Extra.
Who said that?
That's optional. Our friends from Optional Extra. I was actually on one of their podcasts a little while ago.
Where is that on? Twitter?
Yeah, it's on the old Twitter.
Oh, I'm looking at Discord. I'm like, what?
Yeah. Levi, speaking of Discord, hit me with a question. You got a question from those lovely Legionnaires?
Let's see. Miss Homage, favorite scenes in movies or gaming that contain dancing?
Oh.
And I know what yours is.
What's mine?
Definitely The Greatest Showman. Just kidding. Well, maybe. I don't know.
It's Troy's breakdown in High School Musical 3. He's dancing around the high school at night, and he's got like lots of pain, and he's like, I love my lady, but I gotta go here, but I want to go there. And yeah. I can't do it. I can't.
Do you remember how big of an epidemic those were?
Dude, I saw that one in theaters, baby.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, there's these two girls in high school. They're like, we should go see it together. I'm like, all right. Yeah, an epidemic. I love that. That's the word.
I like how you said that. Yeah, epidemic.
Dancing. One that came to mind.
Dirty Dancing.
Well, wouldn't it be like Mary or not Mary? Yeah, Mary Poppins has a ton of dancing.
I don't like Mary Poppins.
You love Mary Poppins.
Mary Poppins is a straight up demon, dude. Did you guys see her go to that bathtub? I am still shocked by that. She falls back. She says, like, here we go. And she goes backwards into a bathtub.
You make it sound like a horror film, like The Ring.
The way she does it is like a horror film. Watch it. She crumbles into herself and goes into the bubbles, dude. Not
I don't
cool.
believe you.
Dude,
anyway, my contained dancing.
I thought of one that came to mind right away. I love the song the Jets sing in West Side Story when they're in the underground kind of like parking ramp, and they're talking. It's like, the boy, crazy boy, stay cool, boy, and they start like dancing around. They're talking about like, let's not go after sharks yet, but we're gonna, but we can't do it right now. Like, I love that whole bit. It's a really good. It gets me every time, and they're just dancing in a parking lot. Yeah.
In movies, while this wasn't executed very well, there's a part in the book and the movie of Harry Potter where a little bit of stress relief, kind of comic relief, they're dancing in the Deathly Hallows. I think it's like the first or the second.
Oh yeah, part. It's Harry and Hermione. Yeah. It's kind of weird.
It was played off much better in the book, but yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one, because like that moment, I kept thinking like Harry and Hermione should have been together. I thought you were gonna say it wasn't executed well, but the Tobey Maguire dancing in Spider-Man 3 was just
that was executed great.
Both times he does it down the street. I love
Spider-Man 3 is like my biggest guilty pleasure.
It's not as bad as people say.
It's really
also, if I saw a dude walking and dancing down the street and he slid past me and then gave me the thumbs up, I would definitely give that guy the thumbs up right back. I'd be like, "You're doing it, bud."
Too, yeah.
Joe, how about you, man? Dancing? I know you're not so much into that, but is there any movie you can think of where some dancing is involved?
I'll go with Grease.
Which, like, what part?
Oh, which part?
Grease Lightning, maybe?
I kind of liked it all, but I liked the moment when they're on the the
Joe,
right?
Joe, you're gonna have to speak up. Your broadcast is coming in a little staticky there, bud. You have to speak up a little bit. You still with us? Cut back to Joe.
I was waiting for him to do it. If you missed last week's show.
I totally forgot.
I thought you were going to remember it earlier, and I was like, here it comes.
No, that was last week's gag. No, I like when they're Travolta and what's her name are on the
Olivia Newton-John.
Yeah, the amusement ride thing. You're the one that
It's funny because
classic, man. Classic.
She's saying like she wants him to be a man and he's got to grow up, yet she changed completely for him and he didn't change at all. I like Grease Lightning though. That's a good one. Joe, I thought you would pick Grease Lightning because you love cars. I thought you would have been like Grease Lightning.
It's all fine.
Okay.
I don't know. I was desperate.
Levi, do you have another question for us here?
Yeah. Let's see.
He's like, maybe. I'll say if you don't have one, I can always pull one up to you.
Missile Mage has so many good ones. Are we doing all of them?
No, just Missile Mage will keep. We love you, Missile Mage. Thank you for asking them, but we should probably give other people.
He gives us a lot of he gives us a lot of good stuff. Favorite underrated romance from Koala Fluff. Good old Matt. It's got to be Twilight. Oh. Still a better love scene than what did they say? Still a better love story than Twilight.
Up is the first 10 minutes of Up is the best romance there ever been.
My God.
Which, by the way, they did that in the most recent season of Once Upon a Time, which I've been watching, and I still teared up because like they recreated it and they played basically the music, and it was still like impactful.
What?
I was like, yeah, they did a version of it, and I was like,
people keep telling me to check out this Once Upon a Time. I got to check it out.
check out Once Upon a Time. It's canceled, but the's 7 seasons of it. So it's,
I just heard that like when they went to and did all the Frozen stuff, it got really weird and
it didn't get that bad. They had to do Frozen.
I heard they shoehorned her in, and anyway.
They shoehorn every character into that. That's the point of the show. Yeah. Underrated romance. Pikachu and Ketchup.
That is the best one. That's one of my favorite. See, okay, we're gonna get into this because I miss when Pokemon did those cute little
dumb things.
Dumb anime things that like they don't do anymore because it's so, mainstream now. But Pokemon used to like take a lot of risks and stuff with like cute little, bits like that. Yeah, I miss that.
Yeah. Joe, how about you? Favorite underrated romance?
From TV or film?
Or anything, yeah.
For anything.
Yeah.
Oh, back in the day when I first laid eyes on my now wife. No, I'm just kidding.
Anyway.
My favorite underrated romance.
It was underrated. People didn't recognize it, and I knew it'd be great one day.
It's beautiful.
No, underrated romance. Ooh, that's actually a good one. Because I'm always the guy to pipe up and say, I actually like any movie I'm watching to have some little stab of romance in there to kind of give you that humanity and kind of sympathize with the characters. Underrated romance, though. You can't go to any of those ones where they ship those together, TV that happens constantly. Oh man, this is too hard of a question. If I ever think of one, I should bring it up because I don't think I'm able to think of one now.
we'll come back to it, Joe. But I do want to give Miss Lamage some love here with this last question. Okay.
Oh.
If you could make a battle royale mode out of any game that doesn't currently have one, what would you choose? And I'm just thinking of all the things in my head that like I'd love to see, like Hello Kitty Island Adventure Battle Royale.
Okay, question. Would it be like rated M? Would it be pretty violent?
Yeah, it'd be like something super dark. Yeah.
I'd also want could it be melee weapons only? Like you all run to the center and everyone just run with like a hacksaw or like a screwdriver.
I'm just trying to think of like the most innocent game I can and just like turning it into something like
Pokemon
that.
Pokemon would make for a hell of a one.
Yeah.
Okay, that's another thing that's really cool about Blackout is that, or Black Ops 4 in general, is that you can turn the mature rating on so that there's blood and gore. So like when you get hit with a grenade, it shows you blowing up and your legs go poof, like blood guts everywhere, like body parts go missing. It's awesome.
Yeah. Well, what battle royale? What game would you want, Joe, that doesn't have a battle royale? Red Dead. Maybe Red Dead's gonna have one. I think Red Dead will have one.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding.
Red Dead. Isn't Red Dead itself a battle royale? Like
kind of technically. But the people don't disappear; they come back, and they will come back for you.
My eyes shot up to this, and I don't know if you'd have to do it with Ghost Recon or Splinter Cell, but one of those would be kind of cool if you had like it was only 30 people, and it wasn't like 100, and it was in a small in a building, and it was like last one alive, and you're like just sneaking around, just like checking every corner. It's like.
I think Ghost Recon would actually be cool. Like if you took a specific, because it kind of transitions from like mountainous to rainforest to swamp to river, or all those different, or to desert. I think it'd be kind of cool if they like sanctioned off kind of how they have on the Ghost Recon map. They have each territory.
Yeah.
For each crime boss. Excuse me. Confine it to that specific territory.
Yeah.
And throw in, 40 or 50 people.
It's got better controls than like PUBG, so I could see people saying like, well, Jimmy, they already have it, but it's like this would be better than hopefully that.
It would be better, yeah. And the vehicle choices and all that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I think PUBG put vehicles in eventually, but yeah, Levi, I like your idea. You know what? How about this? I saw Bloodborne up here. Make a Souls battle royale. Just put a bunch of people in there. Let them fight to the death.
That would be crazy, actually. I would love to see that.
You're welcome.
Ooh, no, get an X-Men battle royale. Lose my shit, actually.
I pick Wolverine. I'm gonna pick Wolverine on that. So like you're dead and you just come back after.
And Disney characters and Marvel characters and just go at it.
Wolverine just standing out in the blue storm the whole time, just taking damage.
Thor's got his Keyblade against like Hulk coming at him.
I do like Hello Kitty Island.
I'm gonna defend against the Heartless, and Hulk's like smash.
Let's do it. Friendship is all I believe in. just crushed. Hulk's like, little boy, speak too much. Levi, is Hello Kitty Island Adventure a real game, or is that one you?
It's not. It's from South Park.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Because all the kids are like, play World of Warcraft, and Butters is like, but I like Hello Kitty Island Adventure. I'm like, I'll play that game.
Last question coming in here from Ryan, our buddy Ryan Layman 3 on Twitter, if you guys want to find him. He says, is there any IP that isn't a video game that you want as a video game? What type of game and why? So like maybe a movie, maybe like, a TV show, and you're like, why don't they make this into a video game? One that comes to mind immediately, by the way, I know a lot of people say this, but Judge Dredd, probably like a first-person shooter. Perfect example. The gun.
What was the question?
An IP that you want them to make into a video game.
Oh. Harry Potter?
They're working on it. No, they already have those games, right?
Yeah.
Or just any IP. It could be anime and stuff too. I'm sure there are versions. There are probably games out there for like all these things, but
I do want to try that My Hero Academia fighting game. That looks cool.
The Shonen, not Jump Force, Levi. Is that the one you're talking about?
No, there's an actual My Hero.
Okay.
It's coming out this month.
It's okay. All Might's going to be a Jump Force. It's going to be fine.
Ooh.
I'm just calling it right now. What's another one?
An IP that you want us to be made into a video game.
Yeah. Joe, you got anything?
They already have like Jurassic Park. They already have like that stuff.
Yeah, that's true. It's hard. It's a tough question.
Thank you, Jimmy. I would choose.
Jesus Christ.
I
want to play Reporter Joe. Like I want them to make
True evil.
The Reporter Joe the video game. That's what I want.
It's coming.
Thank you, Levi. Very kind of you to say.
Okay, say it like you're in a storm too.
It's getting pretty windy out here, guys. I may have to call her an evening, but
I know they're making it Avengers. I just
Thrones.
Oh sure. Well, yeah, like a real good, like a Witcher.
It would be like Skyrim or Witcher on steroids.
What game?
Oh,
what IP?
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. They already have a game. Yeah.
But really?
They do, and it sucked. Yeah.
They have a few. They did like a Telltale one, and
it out, but like Skyrim style, like you play through that world and make it your own story. Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
If they've already done it and I haven't heard about it, then shame on those people.
Problem is, I love anime, and every anime has got like a few video games.
What about Supernatural?
Yeah, I guess that'd be kind of like
would be cool.
Yeah,
a modern Witcher. So you're going around in your car. It's like Mad Maxy. You got your car, but you're driving around the Midwest. That would be kind of fun.
It would be a modern Witcher, yeah. But
yeah, that would be kind of cool.
I feel like we've brought that up before.
Yeah. Well, once we get somebody on for Supernatural, then we'll talk to them about it. Be like, so
Dean. I love Dean.
Dean, we always thought you'd make a great Eddie Brock, and we know Tom Hardy's got it, but
was he in the running for that?
No, a lot of people.
Oh.
So wasn't that the one that they were saying? They're like Jansen Ackles are like he would make a perfect Eddie Brock. Just to look at to walk in that day and you're Eddie. Janison Famke Jansen Ackles. The same person. My sister, side note, my older sister Amanda, she loves to do this thing where she tells me they're the same person. So she'll take like two famous actors or actresses. She's like, I'm pretty sure they're the same person. So it'd be like if you took Matt Damon and Jeremy Renner, she'd be like, man, I love Hawkeye. Like Matt Damon does such a good job as Hawkeye. And I'll be like, that's Jeremy Renner. And she's like, I'm pretty sure they're the same person.
No, dude, it's Matt Damon. There's somebody else that looks like Matt Damon. Who is it? Who do I always get confused with Matt Damon?
Ben Affleck.
You're not wrong. Yeah.
Poor Ben. Ben, figure it out with the Batman thing. Please. We're begging you. Yeah, anyway, believe it or not, I think that's going to do it for the show this week. Thank you, everybody who wrote in questions and topics and, answers. We love to hear from you guys. But if you ever have a question or a topic for the show, all you have to do is tweet the hashtag Critical Podcast, like all these people did, or put it in our Discord, our podcast questions tab over there. And you can tweet to any of us. You can tweet at the official account, which is @GoCritical. That is capital G and a capital C. Or you can tweet at me personally. I'm at JimmyGood013. If you'd like to tweet at Joe, you can tweet at son of a bitch.
Thank you, Jimmy. It would be at Lever_627. That's Lever just like Beaver, only with an L. Back to you, Jimmy.
If you want to tweet at Levi, you can tweet at.
I made that monster. So
yeah.
I'm at Levi Fletcher.
Very good. Nice. And as Levi alluded to earlier, we are streaming over on twitch.tv/critical reviews. He's going through Final Fantasy 15 right now. Some Mario Party here and there. I've been streaming some Dragon Quest 11, Assassin's Creed, Dragon Age Origins from time to time for the RPG Mondays and stuff. But when you guys are watching this, we won't be streaming next week because actually Levi and I are going to be out of town. We're going to be doing some recon at the most magical place on Earth. Wait, is it the happiest place on Earth? One of them is the most magical.
Happiest place on Earth, yeah.
But then, Disneyland is, the most magical place. It's very confusing. Anyway, doesn't matter. The happiest place on Earth. We're going to be in Disney World. But don't worry. Fear not. We will return. So that's we're streaming all the time over there. So you should check out those. And if we're not streaming, there's archives there. So you can go join in the fun. It's not live, so, it's not the same kind of energy. But it's still fun to be there. I enjoy doing that kind of thing. Let's see. Let's just go down the list of things here. We have a Spreadshirt if you guys want to support us. The Spreadshirt, Critical Reviews, look over there. We got some shirts. My sister, Katie, who is our community manager, she just got a new sweatshirt. It looks sick. She got a little CR patch. critical reviews across the back. I know Simon Anderson, if you're listening to this, he's got like a mug or something like that. Not just his face, but like an actual mug to put, like a liquid in. So if you want to support us, go check us out over there and buy a few things. And definitely show us, tweet us a picture if you guys buy anything. We want to know that you're liking the stuff, and hopefully it lives up to your expectations and all of that jazz. I want to thank a few people. I want to thank This Is Dale for our intro, outro, theme music. And I want to thank the one, the only, Mr. Jorn Evers, who does pretty much all the artwork you see here on the show. If you ever want to see his stuff, you should go check out his Instagram or his Twitter at Niraj28. He's working on a project right now, and here's a brief synopsis. When David opens a mysterious box that transforms his arm into an alien weapon, he at first uses it for good to right the wrongs of his high school. But as more of his body is transformed, he finds that playing God comes with its own set of new, self-destructive perils. Kind of like Venom, huh? If Venom was God. Venom. Yep. Man, I love Macklemore. See what I did there? Oh, I'm just kidding. Eminem. Marshall, I know you're watching, buddy. Thanks for watching, man. He's like, and unsubscribe. But if you want to support Jorn, want to support Levi, Joe, and myself, and the channel all together, consider checking us out on patreon.com/critical review, where critical reviews. I can't even put the S on there. Critical reviews. If you want to throw in even $1, you can get your beautiful face drawn into our card game. But if you donate at the $100 level, you get to decide how your card looks completely, and we will talk about you here every week on the show just for a little blip. So definitely check that out if you're of a mind to do so. Anyway, I want to thank you boys for being on. What a lovely time. I know we had a few little technical difficulties here and there, but we powered through. We're soldiers,
Thank you, Jimmy.
I'm not gonna miss this next week. I probably will. I'll be on a ride and I'll be like, I miss Joe's delayed, reaction, and then I'll just in my head I'll just be like, I'm
gonna start doing it when we're playing Xbox.
Oh yes, I 100%.
I can hear Drew already just being like, yeah, I'm getting sick of this. I would love it.
Booted from the party.
Yeah,
guys,
exactly.
What happens? I keep getting booted. What the heck?
I don't know, man.
Man.
Bruce invite. Do you boys have any final thoughts before we wrap it up here, Joe?
Final thoughts. You know what I think? I think if you're driving down the road and on the side of the road on a fence post you see a turtle, I'm pretty sure somebody put him there.
Oh my God. All right. Levi, you got anything to say to that?
Levi has disconnected from the party chat.
Okay, I'm sorry. We got to know. What does that even mean?
Okay, if anybody ever walks
Anna,
up...
please draw what Joe just said.
If anybody ever walks up to you and goes, what do you think, Jimmy? Look at them, and because that is just... I hate when people ask that question. That is a stupid question. What do you think?
So
about what? What are you talking about? Just respond. Well, you know what I think?
Well, if you see a turtle on the top of a fence, he didn't get there on his own. He had an accomplice.
I think if you're driving down a road,
okay, I guess we're doing this.
If you see on the side of the road, there's a turtle sitting on top of a fence post. I'm pretty sure somebody put him there. Well,
excellent. What do you think, dear viewer? Please leave it. If you could write that word for word in the comments, just so we know you made it that far. Honestly, if you can make it through all the plugs and advertisements at the end of the show, I'll be pretty impressed.
Discussion. If you make it through all that, I'll be impressed too. Yeah.
I'll be very impressed. Thank you very much. We just appreciate you guys, though, just hanging out with us, donating your time. And until we see you next time, just remember to adapt and overcome. Bye-bye.